No. I'm going to open the January 17th, 2024 Select Board meeting. Do we have adjustments to the agenda? I have one, driveway permit. Public comment? None? Okay, well, let's take a motion to approve the minutes of January 3rd, 2024.
I'll make that motion. Second.
So do we have any further discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Correspondence. We have here. Let's see. We have a thank you from Mark LaHoyer. I want to thank you. I want to send you a thank you for your support of the Lamoille Area Cancer Network Bottle Shed. This year we collected $4,106.25 in bottles and cans at the Wolcott transfer station. In the 2 years that we have been doing this, we have raised a little over 40,000 total from our 4 sheds. Thank you again for all your support. And have a thank you from Pam, who is our janitor. Thank you for the gift card and lottery ticket. I didn't hit the jackpot, maybe next time. I think the town office gave her a scratch off. Comcast is just writing to us, telling us about an affordable connectivity program through the federal government for eligible low-income households up to a $30 per month credit for internet or mobile service. And you can call them. I'm not sure if they do Comcast in the office. And we, the earth side of town, they do. So I have from our insurance company, the claim cost detail, detailing all the costs. I'll pass it around. It really is, most of it is kind of private. So I'll share it with the board. A couple of things I picked up on. Most of it is claims for potholes and people hurting themselves, workman's comp. But I see that, did you receive notice too, Deb, that they're going to give us 41,000 for the town hall?
No.
Um, $174,500 for the garage and fire station. And 5,000 for the pole barn. They The reason they're not giving us any money for the recreation field is because it's not listed on the property schedule for insurance. So we better make sure that it is next year.
My understanding is it wasn't covered because it's open field and they don't cover that for.
But that's just what it says here, 0. Recreation field flood damage not listed on the property schedule. It won't hurt to put it on there anyway. We have our cemetery, I think, I'm not sure. But anyway, that's good news. You might want to reach out. Thank you to Kurt and Deb for all their hard work on this insurance thing, which has been dragging on forever.
But the rec field's not being covered because that, the athletic association with their budget proposal.
They're not gonna get any insurance money. I believe Kurt was gonna work with FEMA on something. We're trying to schedule a meeting, but that's really difficult.
Do you have a copy of that, Linda? So I've been working with Terry for some time and she went quiet on me. I'm just surprised that we got this. And did it come to you directly or?
No, it came to Belinda. It's in our claim thing. It's all combined, claims for the quarter or the year. It includes, claims on all the potholes and tire.
Okay,
Claims for workers' comp that's been carried on. It goes back to 2019.
okay. So do we actually have a settlement letter for the flooding?
No, it's just this insurance claim paper that, got emailed to Belinda today. And she put it on my desk for correspondence.
Okay,
So maybe reach out to Terry and find out what's up.
yeah, because we need, we are gonna need the settlement letter to move forward with FEMA.
Right. Okay, why don't we, quickly take up the, Town of Wolcott Highway Department permit from Zephyr Courtney. He lives on East Hill Road. Dylan has signed off on it. It's okay. People like to look at it before we approve it.
The that 3-acre lot just below their house, right?
Below Mike Sheds.
Yeah.
Yep.
While we're waiting for everyone to look at that, I sent it out by email. I don't know. You read your email and not Kurt, but on the agenda tonight is to, approve my signing the contract of sale of land, for the town forest. And we have, had our attorney review it. I guess his concerns in his letter have been addressed by the Trust for Public Land in terms of there's no structures on the property and the town will be getting a full title insurance policy. The US Forest Service will be giving the town a grant of $580,000. Some of it will be used to cover the closing costs, property taxes, title insurance, recording costs, all things that go with a closing. And the town will be contributing 25,000 from ARPA. Well, Kurt's looking that over. Are there any questions on, the driveway permit? Can we just go ahead and make a motion to approve?
Make the motion. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So carried. I'll pass it back around for, signatures. Did you get a chance to look at the forest?
Yeah.
So do we have any questions on the forest? So what the Trust for Public Land is wanting, the select board, sign the contract so we can move forward. I guess you can take a motion.
I'll make that move.
Okay. And a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Any further questions on that? I feel confident that our attorneys reviewed it. We responded, so. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried, thank you. All right, finalize the budget and the warning. You should have a copy of a new copy of a budget dated, well, I don't know if you have a date on it. A new copy of a budget that today, as of today, from the suggested changes from our last meeting and some areas where there's still questions. There are a few areas that, in reviewing them, that I noticed were missing that I put in. You can take some of them out if you want, but one was in the town highway budget, there's no money for the lease. land to access the garage. So that's $250 a year. That goes till 2040. You have to pay that annual fee to lease that land. Also, there wasn't the portalet in the Parks and Recreation Department that got left out.
We put that under
So where you put it?
page 3 at the bottom. I think it is page 4, sorry. It's 2280 a year, because it's 190 a month.
What was that item again? Under Parks, all right.
Rail trail.
Well, Belinda put it under miscellaneous. It's been there, it's been under Parks and Recreation. I don't care where it goes, as long as there's money in there for it.
The 1480 that he asked for is for a portaletta over at the ball field, so I didn't want him to get
Okay,
confused, so.
Belinda put it under miscellaneous. The bottom of page 4. And the other suggestion I had, where did you put front porch forum?
Oh, I didn't, I'm sorry, I'll have to do that. So under miscellaneous, Linda also wanted to put, front porch forum, $200, because we use them quite a lot to, put notices in and let people know.
We've stopped using the local newspaper because they're outrageous. We use a front porch forum for our advertising pretty much. We have given them $125 a year in the past. I mean, we can still do it at that, but I think we should contribute something to them.
So 200 recommended.
Yeah, I use it a lot. Every time I'm closed for a holiday, I post it, tax time, dog time. I'm getting ready to post a notice about dogs, because
All right.
not too many people have come. So I did forget that one, Linda. I must have missed that page.
How do you want to attack this? Do you want to just do the highway, and then go back and go through the rest of it? Or do you want to go through it all? Do you want to know where we kind of stand right now? In terms of the tax, how do you want to do that? This,
Might as well do the highway department.
so you have a lot of things on your desk. You have an appeal from the highway department. Looks like this, yeah. The highway department is appealing our changes. We have, I put a copy of an updated profit and loss budget from the highway department on your desk because, and Dolan can put it on the thing too. I went through and looked at some of the stuff and they were miscoded. And there's also, well, we don't need to deal with the equipment schedule right now, I don't think, do we? That's a different issue. We can go through the budget and then we'll look at the two proposals that Dylan has brought us on the truck body and look at the equipment schedule and do that after. How's that? So going through the appeal, they are making some, they're making some other proposed ideas. Having class, let's see, equipment repairs. at 50,000. We had it at 40,000. We've spent, our budget last year was 25,000. For half a year, we've spent, $37,455. So what I'm wondering though is, on these equipment schedules, we're supposed to be saving all these repair costs.
May I jump in?
Yeah,
Yeah, so we do in fact are saving, on repair costs. If we watch how repairs have declined over time, it is getting smaller and smaller. We do have 2 trucks yet, that are consuming quite a bit of the repair costs. But they are in fact, declining.
Do we have those repairs tracked individually by truck, or are they just lumped in for one giant repair?
Yeah, they are lumped in. There's a good bit of dissection that needs to be done, working with accounting, to go repair by repair.
well, I think starting forward though, they should be put on the invoice slips so that accounting can track them separately. We used
Yeah,
to do that.
So
do
we
believe-
would like, you would like them by truck or by
I
equipment?
still do that.
I was gonna say, all the ones I've seen, you've got truck 16.
They're all
Right.
separated.
Yeah,
We just don't have subcategories because we've never had them in the past. But we could do grader, loader, we can break that out. It's not a problem.
I would
It just would
appreciate
take
that.
some time.
I moving forward especially, I would appreciate that.
Okay.
That way there we can really see, especially once we get all these trucks on a lease program, we can really see how much that's worth.
Now, the 2018 has an extended warranty. Is that still in existence?
I can't remember if it expires this coming year or if it expired this last summer.
I just wondered about that because I know when I was looking up the totals of what we paid for everything today, I noticed that we did
I
have.
think
an
it's
extended
still, I
warranty,
think it's still under warranty.
But there's only certain things under the.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
but as far as the decline goes, we went from 200% over budget, down to 72%, down to 47%. And that is a reflection of the new equipment and the warranties. It's important to note that warranties are not 100% of repairs.
Right.
When we get the other, if it's possible, just think hypothetically that the other 2 trucks, we get 2 new trucks, this will probably go down to 20%. I think
The jump between 19 and 20, where we went from 24,000 to 62,000 in spend, was also the year that we had a new road crew. It might be worth mentioning that jump may have been an anomaly based on the equipment they were left with when they took over.
That was because of the 2013 truck, wasn't it? Or the
That,
old one?
Lucian had to go in and do a lot of maintenance and
Yeah.
rebuilding of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because things were in pretty sad shape when.
Yeah, because I think we bought a body in it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
used body on Chan's truck, yeah, the old one.
So
But I
what's
do-
your pleasure? We have 40, they're suggesting 50.
Split the difference. 45. That's a good idea. I'll second that one.
If I can jump in again, if you look at our budgeting for equipment repairs over the years, they've been absolutely woefully low. And we do, I mean, makes sense that we try to adjust that. So we get back up to a reasonable level where the budget is not so out of whack. Having 200% over budget would suggest that the budgeting needs to be corrected. And what we've done here is we've used a run rate. And that means that we've used what we've spent so far and calculated it out to the entire year. And that comes to a $50,000 number, which I think is reasonable and correct.
So when you look at a highway budget, though, at the end of the year, end up looking at the bottom line. So you spend less in some places, you spend more in the others, it kind of evens out. I mean, our highway budget right now is at 49.9%, and that's about where it should be for this time of year. Because everything kind of balances out. So if it seems a little short in one place, it's made up from another place.
Yeah, I understand that. That would kind of suggest that, I mean, how do you budget for that? That means that we budgeted too high for some and we budgeted too low for some. But you won't know it until the end of the year, whether you were right or not. I'm just looking at correct budgeting, that's all.
Okay, let's move on to chloride. So we suggested 35 and you're suggesting 35,
It was like a win here.
yeah? Class 3 roads. That is kind of a problem here because, what I found out, because I wanted to know how we had spent 74,928. And come to find out, it had been miscoded. And a lot of, it should have gone in, 25,000 should have gone into the class 2 construction category.
Yep, that might explain it. And as I pointed out in the appeal, is that this certainly looks like an anomaly. And I was concerned that it's either misreporting or miscoding, which should have gone into FEMA. But I guess you've discovered that some of it went to class 2.
It went to the Elmore Pond Road with Adam.
Yep,
We thought it was class 3, but it was supposed to be class 2.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
class 2 road, yeah.
Okay,
So
well, if that's the
That brought, so what I found for class 3 was, we've only spent 13,000 so far this year, but we need to take into consideration, all the time you spent on flood repairs, so you weren't working on class 3. And also your grant and aid because you're working on Keeler Pond Road. So that needs to be taken into consideration on this 13,000.
Wait a minute, where are we? So far this year. Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
So what percentage of time do you think that you could gain back if we had a normal year where you're not doing?
A lot, but,
3/4, 2/3.
That's gonna happen.
Well,
a lot, but I usually don't like to spend a ton of money out of the class 3 until like May, because mud season can
Yeah.
really set you back. So I try to hang on to at least half of it until May.
Are we predicting a bad mud season?
Yes,
Are we applying for grant and aid this year?
yep.
And how long does that take you to do a grant and aid project usually? How many weeks about?
The one that we got last year was like double what we normally get, so that was quite a lot bigger. So that'd be like, I'd call that a month,
4 weeks.
4 weeks, but normally in the years past, probably 3 weeks. It depends how far you have to haul
Mhm,
material, and there's a lot
True.
of factors.
yeah,
And the paving's going to happen.
Yeah,
we're just talking about class 3 roads right now. So you are suggesting 75 and we put in 65.
And that number was based on a miscalculation of 25,000 that was used on class 2. Although our class 2 budget last year was only $2,000.
No, that was class 4.
class 2 as well.
Class 2 as well? Jeez, what were we thinking?
Yeah, class 2 was 2,000.
Yeah,
If you
yes,
repair
1,500% over budget.
Yeah.
Is
Once
that?
we put the pond road in.
You repair culverts and stuff.
Class 2 is anything for class 2 roads, so. Yeah, it would buy one culvert on the pond road.
What's the board's feeling on
I'd like to leave it at 65 and put the other 10 onto your class 2. Up that up from 4,000 up to 8 at least.
Well, only if we know what he's gonna, if he's gonna do anything. I'm not gonna give him money for projects he's not planning to do.
I would use the money in class 2 to resurface the pond road for sure.
Quite a few bumps there.
Yeah, there's no grass.
There's some holes in there you could put a cat in and drive over.
So your recommendation is to increase class 2 to 8?
Right. Class 3's at 65.
How does the rest of the board feel about that?
I agree with that.
And you have time to do that?
As long as we don't get another flood.
Yeah. As long as the creek don't rise.
So I'm resigning if we do.
You're
Linda, you
resigning.
won't let you.
We all are.
Okay, so we're leaving class 3 at 65,000. We're adding 4,000 to class 2 construction. And you can fill in potholes on the pond road with that extra money.
Yep,
All right. Gas, diesel gas heating oil, we had it 45.
He agrees with 45.
But wait a minute, it's that still in here.
Everything more.
Well, what I wanted to bring to your attention is we still have a surplus of $22,536 that we reserved, we put away last year in our reserve fund that we haven't even touched. How are we running this year, Brenda?
We're running right on schedule.
Huh?
We're running on schedule. The only thing that's a little ahead right now of what is the town hall, but that's because we went from fuel tank to propane. We had to fill 2 tanks. And we didn't anticipate that. What I wanted to ask, what's gonna happen with that fuel tank? Is there fuel in it? What are we doing?
At town hall.
No.
Put Bob on it.
Okay, that's my answer.
There's someone that removes oil
I
tanks.
think we've gotten a load like 2 weeks before.
All right, so
Well, with that $22,000 reserves, you wanna knock 5,000 out from there, take some of the paying off of Kurt's suggestion for class 2.
I like that a lot.
We've got the money to back us up if we.
Right, so yeah, your fund balance will kick in if you go over your budgeted amount.
Still leave it at 4,000, class 2.
Your class 2 stays where you wanted it, but instead of the 45,000 in fuel, we give them 40. Give
So
them-
diesel, gas and heating oil is where we're at now.
Okay.
It's at 45. Michael is suggesting we drop that down to 40,000 to make up the difference, some of the difference from your increase on class 2,
Mhm.
because we have 22,000
Left over.
somewhere. I have the figure. We have 22,000 still in the reserve fund for fuel. 22,536. So we can discuss the other no, I want to discuss the ball field parking lot. Possible postponement for budget reduction, approximately $10,000 design and level grade. Is that just for the athletic people or is that for the snowmobiles? Kurt, I didn't quite understand what that was.
It's, that is a project that the board has spoken about. My assumption was that it was for snowmobiles.
Okay, so it's the snowmobile project, not just, it's not the one for the recreation athletic association to get in.
That's my understanding, yeah.
Okay, all right, I just wasn't quite, sure what that meant. I'm not sure whether have we put that in the budget anywhere? I don't know where that stands, to be honest with you, because we were waiting to hear from the state. We haven't gotten, permission at this point to do anything from whether it's in the river corridor or whatever. I think that's something we have to follow up on that.
So the only thing you guys okay was putting back the field and the parking lot that's there.
Yeah, I was just confused if that was what he was talking about, or I wasn't sure.
And that's not coming out of the highway budget.
No.
No, okay. I just wanted to clarify that, because I was thinking to myself, that shouldn't come out of the highway budget.
Okay, we can bring up the rest of the stuff as we move through the rest of the budget. So we need to talk about these quotes that Dylan has given us. We'll pass them around. And this is for just a new dump body. You have a recommendation of which one?
The cheaper.
Does everyone, everyone has a copy? Okay,
The added thing on the bottom, the 3,200.
I don't know what that is. I didn't even notice it, Belinda.
Oh, okay. Says in lieu of Horton steel construction.
Oh, that's Heavier steel. If you wanted to have it built with heavier steel, you could do that for an extra 3,200.
Do we need the extra?
Instead of 16 gauge, then you go to 10.
Is that what it would be? AR 450? Yeah. So it'd be quite a bit heavier. I don't know, is this,
Would it last longer with that?
yeah, theoretically it would, yeah.
Don't hit it with a bucket loader or roll it.
That's right.
Well, those are all accidents.
Bigger issues.
Like these.
And you talked to them about, if we bought a new truck, we could transfer this body to that,
Yeah, you can do that.
okay? And, my understanding is, this would be for Joey's truck,
Yeah.
and that his truck is, fairly decent shape,
It is.
couple of years.
The truck runs fine. There's no huge problems with it as far as I know. I asked Elijah, our mechanic that works on it, what he thought, if he thought we could justify putting a new body on it, and he seems to think so.
Okay,
He says it's in pretty sound shape.
Would you get another international if we were to buy a new truck, or would you go back to the Western Stars?
I would like to go back to Western Star,
Better service.
better service.
And we don't have rebuild prices. We don't know what rebuilding that body would be as
No.
compared to new.
I don't even know if I could get Billy to
I
do.
don't think it's good.
Yeah, I looked at it the other day while I was waiting for
No.
Lloyd's.
Did it a few
He doesn't
times.
even want to work on it right now. He doesn't, he doesn't like cobbing it together, and I don't think he likes to put his name on cob together.
Yeah. I just didn't know if Viking had a rebuild. If
I highly doubt we'll get Viking to rebuild it.
Maybe you should, tell the other board members the story or why we're talking about it.
Okay, so, Joey's body on his dump truck is the same as the other three that we have. It's a side dump system. So it has an inner body that lifts up. And there's a hinge, that side dump rides on. And over the years, the sand being dragged over all the time, it's worn it so thin that last year it failed. And it's totally separated, so you couldn't run that at all. And there was a gap in the floor of the body, probably this wide, so you couldn't load it with material. It leaked out of it. So we had Billy come and he rebuilt that whole hinge. The only problem is that everything around what he built is so thin. The welds aren't whole, it's breaking on the other side of his welds because everything's just so thin. So there's not really anything left to work with on it.
And there's no way that we can modify trucks or routes or something to make the truck with the lower capacity, right? Without a side dump, it can haul, what, 60% of its full load?
Yeah,
Could we change the routes, keep that truck in service the way that it is if we patch the holes in the floor and put it on the easier route so that it's taking the salt route and the short sand route? And put the truck with the full capacity on the harder, the longer routes? I mean, would that,
we could if we had to.
But we mostly have hills. I mean, let's be honest, most of Wolcott is hills. Is it gonna fail on a hill?
No,
I mean,
no, what he's saying is you patch the truck together so that we could still use it without the side dump, right?
yes, yeah, whether we put a false floor in it.
So you'd only be able to run about half of your load.
Which wouldn't work on the hilly North Wolcott sections or your route, the upper parts. But
If we
the,
sealed it all up really good so that it didn't leak salt, then it could run the salt route.
just because that's a 7-year-old truck.
It's a 16, so
Oh,
it's
16.
8.
So a new body on an 8-year-old truck to the tune of 44,000.
How soon can you get the body?
That I don't know. He still hasn't told me.
And how long
But-
will it be out for?
For them to put the body on, I would say it would take a couple of days. Don't quote me on that.
That's if he hasn't got to do some other repairs
Yeah, right,
on the frame or something.
right, where it mounts, yeah. I'm totally open to everybody's opinions and.
Well, and something else that you and I had talked about was pushing the replacement of truck 16 out. And your Dodge is also, your 1-ton is also in not great shape. That's not on this replacement schedule anywhere. It's like it's been ignored. As far as budgeting is concerned.
The last one was free.
Oh, that's handy.
Well, because the other one burned up.
Okay. I don't anticipate, I mean, unless the next guy that tries to steal
Yeah, for this
fire.
Yeah.
He said, unless the next guy that tries to steal it lights it on fire, that probably won't happen for us this time.
Go there anymore, did we? Craftsbury Auto?
No, he could never get us in.
Yeah.
Probably thought you were a bad omen.
Maybe, I don't blame him.
You know, so is there a way to purchase a 1-ton that would be up to the task of doing the short route? You know, the short sand route.
Yes.
Or the short salt route,
I think that's a fantastic idea.
and it would be what, about half the cost of a new tandem?
Yeah, I would say so.
And leave you with truck 16 as a backup or temporary labor.
Yeah.
Because
What do we do for plowing for over here then?
that truck would still do it.
You still do everything with that we do with the ton truck.
There'd be no visual difference in the size of the truck. It's just that the springs are gonna be enough to carry the weight.
Well,
The springs,
On a highway,
so the
on
odds that we have
with a wing.
won't support the weight of a wing
Plow road.
and a salter and all these things to make it a highway plow. So if they were to upgrade the ton truck to something that would support that weight, visually, there would be no difference. That truck would still look like a 1-ton. It would still do everything it needs to do all summer long. Pull the chloride trailer, bring them back and forth to jobs, move culverts, run for parts. It would still do all of that.
Right,
But it would also support a plow, a commercial, a highway plow and a wing. And it would put truck 16 on, you know, a lighter duty, which could push our replacements out a little further and spread these new trucks apart so that when we come into our next phase of rotation, we don't have 3 new trucks within, 5 years of each other.
Will this make your routes longer though?
no, it wouldn't change anything. We would do essentially basically. The smaller truck would do everything that Chan does, his whole route. He would absorb some of our shorter roads. Like Wolcott Pond, for example, and some stuff like that. And the 2 bigger trucks would absorb his bigger roads, like East Elmore, Gorley.
Okay.
So there'd be a little bit of.
Yeah.
Change in things, but not a lot.
so let's talk about, so there's 2 ideas on the table. We don't know the price of the other one. So can we brainstorm where the money would come from?
Yeah, and that's a thing I have, that's well outside of my wheelhouse.
What is 1 ton fully loaded going to run us 75?
To totally equip it with a plow and everything, I'd guess it'd be. 100, 110.
What's a tandem? Fully out.
They bought was 260, right?
Well, 221. I think it wasn't that what?
I don't know. In the town report, it, I,
221, 151.
Okay.
That's what it says the international is.
I thought it was-
You'd be like 45% less.
I'm not positive that amount does or doesn't include a deposit, so I have, but that's great in my
I think
mind.
it's this is what we paid after the trade-in. was 40, right?
25.
25,
There's a
okay.
few different numbers in there.
So that.
Yeah,
That sounds about right, yeah.
Couldn't-
Yeah. This is how much we owe. Per page.
Well, I'll give you some options, I guess. We finally closed out on the Brook Road culvert, should be getting 124,000. We owe the town two or 3,000 in interest that they paid for us, so we have that money. I was hoping to put some in our capital fund. I was hoping to save a little bit in a reserve fund for when we get grants and we need to make matches. But we have that money. That's a pot of money that's coming.
That 100,000, does that account for a trade-in on the Dodge?
No.
If you could put a ballpark value on that.
What they give us for trade, I don't know, 20, 30,
So now we're talking about 80 to get us in a ton truck.
right?
So
Fully loaded though, everything.
Set
Main
up.
up-
Like I said, don't quote me. I don't know for sure. I could be way off, but that's my guess. 100, 110.
So three options, one being we do nothing, swap routes. Nobody likes that idea. Two, we buy a $40,000 body on a 8-year-old truck. Or option three, we explore ton truck. Right? Am I off base here?
That's what's on the.
Unless somebody else has got another option. There's lots of options.
Michael, you think this third option is the most practical?
They're gonna have to do something about the Dodge at some point.
Yeah.
My personal feeling on clumping the truck, the tandem replacement this close together. I personally don't love that because of the collective age of the fleet, 6 years from now. That leaves us with a lot of not old, but older trucks. I like the idea because it's half the cost of a tandem. It is more than just fixing the tandem that we have. But it does leave us a spare dump truck. While Joey's truck is not fantastic and the side dump will not put up with daily use, we get a big storm or you have another truck go down, that tandem can step in. It also opens the door. We now have 4 highway plows. If we ever decided we needed temp labor to step in and help us, or if the guys wanted to do some kind of rotating schedule or something, it's a lot of money, but I feel like it opens more doors than just throwing a body on that truck. As it stands, that Dodge is underutilized for what it is, or the 1 ton, the position of the 1 ton in the town is underutilized. A truck that's just a little bit heavier can do a lot more, but not so heavy that it doesn't do the summertime tasks, culverts, chloride trailer, fueling equipment, those kinds of things.
So you're talking like a F-350,
Like a 550.
550. Okay.
They
A
run.
little bigger.
They run a heavier tire. They run a 19.5 tire, which is load rated for more, and the springs are a little beefier, but other than that, they're.
And so it can carry a heavier plow.
Yeah, you could put a heavier plow on it and put a wing on it and it won't blow the springs out of it or blow the tires.
Hmm.
Well, the thing to start thinking about is 2014. We had 4 feet of snow and you guys couldn't keep up. With a 4th backup truck, it would help.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think that third suggestion is the way to go.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if you got 4 instead of 3, you're not out there constantly 8, 9, 10 hours.
Right. I totally agree with that.
And, Chan's truck, how many times has that been in with an ABS sensor?
Right.
Chan's truck sits with the brakes locked up and now you two are left pulling the rest of the weight.
Exactly. And if one of them goes down, you got one.
Kids are walking from the bus stop.
You go from working 8 hours a day to working 20 hours. a day.
Are they ever gonna fix that on Jan's truck or did they?
They did, they got it fixed.
Yeah.
It's throwing an ABS code, but I think it's a wheel speed sensor or something kind of not urgent.
Duct tape. I do like suggestion number 3. It's more practical in the long run. I think so.
And I would like to see some numbers on it. I'd like to have,
Yep.
see what the truck availability is, you know, and you still have the short-term problem of what do you do?
We still have the short-term problem. And I don't know the best answer to that other than hopefully it holds together and just keep struggling with it.
And if it doesn't, you theoretically could swap routes.
Right.
You know, driver follow the truck or driver stay with the route, doesn't
I
matter.
don't think we have any choice because I'm not sure, but I doubt that that we could get a new body right now. He said typically it's 3 months. If you get lucky, they've got a body in that's waiting to go on a truck that hasn't come in yet, so they'll sell you that body. But I wouldn't bank on it, so.
Could you get an idea of what it would take to do that patch? That it cost us that one patch that he.
Yeah, I can have Bill come and look at it. And see if he'll do it.
It might be quicker than.
I get the impression Bill thinks it's like polishing a turd.
He doesn't want to.
Pretty much. He was trying to weld on it the other day and he was burning right through it. It was just, it's too thin.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he couldn't rebuild it, but I don't know if he wants to.
It's like when Sweet wants to rebuild a dumpster. Sometimes it's take it to the scrap yard.
Yeah, it's a dumpster at the end of the day.
He's.
But this one's our dumpster.
That's pretty dangerous though.
Okay, so is everyone happy? The plan is we're going to get a price for a 550 with the works. Bring it back to us. We at least know where one pot of money is. Think about where I can find some more, but
Okay. And you're all right with your short-term answer of nobody, but struggle?
I think that's the only answer. I really do. Even if we wanted to put a new body on it right now, I don't know. I don't think we could. I think it's gonna be spring before they get us.
I don't think you'd find one.
He said 3 months typically to get it in.
So you're already talking spring.
Yeah, exactly.
So this would help in the meantime if we bought a smaller truck.
Yeah, but that, I doubt that'll get, you know,
yeah,
we ain't gonna get that before.
That was getting all the stuff for it, yeah.
We're just hauling them out now.
You can probably get the
I think
truck, but unless
you
you can
can-
push the snow with the bumper.
Right, you could get the truck. It's Viking that's,
Uh-huh.
everything's way out with them, you know.
And Viking's the only one around?
Yeah, around here, there's Tenco and, but they're down in like Manchester, New Hampshire.
Mhm.
So they're quite a ways away. I like I like the idea of looking at different vendors,
yeah.
but
So far.
they're so far away. If you need a part or something, we'd have to have every part, you know, over at the shop in case something broke.
Mhm. We hate snow.
Okay,
Sick of that.
we got a long ways to go here, so I'm gonna move on. Unless you have anything more to say,
I don't think so.
okay? So you'll get back, why don't you get back with Michael? He's more
Yeah,
experienced in this, and he can
we can hit shop.
bring the proposal of what we want for.
That sounds good.
And we don't have to add to our,
Huh?
Let's bribe Bill to get him to.
That's right. Good night, everybody.
I know.
let's quickly, I'll go through these other pointers because they have to do with, the budget. On page 3 of the appeal, they talk about having a independent, now the IT budget,
So I can tell you why I left that in there, because that,
what is it?
it is actually basically what I pay over above what's in the contract for copies. Because I do the tax bills and stuff, that's, it runs as not buying the paper, but actually the machine and, you know, it's just part of the whole contract. You're allowed up to a certain amount of copies per year, and it's usually, I know it's in my
So
office.
should it say copier expense, not computer?
Yeah, I don't know why it says computer.
Should
It
type,
should be yeah, sorry, it should be copier expense,
thank you.
yes. And that's why I didn't, it's not computer, it's not IT, it is the copier, and it's basically me making a lot of copies. It's like doing recording, right, all that stuff.
Okay. They're wondering why, the fire warden had, I'm sure there's a good reason, but on the off chance the taxpayer reads the budget, they may question the 12% increase in salary as opposed to 3% to the otherwise 3% increase for employees. Normally, we don't give them any kind of a raise, a 3% increase.
We don't pay a mileage either, so.
And,
It is a mileage increase.
His rationale was that Jim and him are both doing a lot more fire permits. But
And they go check them out a lot.
do you want to revisit that, the board?
What's that?
Fire warden.
Fire warden. Do you want to revisit that? Bernard came in, he asked for $100 increase in the salary, and he splits it with Jim.
Yep, down the middle.
He splits it with Jim Holton. He said that there was a increase in demand for issuing permits. He doesn't normally get a 3% raise like other town employees. He gets a stipend.
Like the emergency management person.
Well, it's at 950 now. What do you think? Maybe 1,000?
No, he wanted to go from 850 to 950, page 2 of your budget. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing was the clerk's office suggested a reduction in reporting fees to 20,000, citing a marked reduction in real estate transaction. This may be a good time to consider a conversion from a pass-through model to a fixed salary model. Most Vermont towns have adopted this change with a number of transactions trending downward, which will be compounded as the website evolves, allowing for off-site activities. A change to salary will protect the clerk from this downward trend and make the clerk's full income subject to potential annual increases. The budget amount of 20,000 or whatever the board deems appropriate can be added to salary, and transaction fees can go to the town coffers. I have brought this up to Belinda. We have talked about it. She is open to the idea.
Yeah.
Felt at this point, though, it was too close to budget because I asked, she wanted to find out what neighboring clerks were being paid, you know, at similar sizes. So what this would mean was at town meeting, we would need to ask voters to just give her a salary and not collect fees, because right now she collects fees, she gets $2 for every dog license, she gets fees, money for marriage licenses, she gets money for doing, recording of the land records. And that's how clerks used to get paid in the olden days. And now it's being used to kind of offset her salary because she only gets about 12,000. So I think that would be something this summer, we should work on negotiations on what that should be and work on, language for next year for the voters to allow that to happen. 'Cause it-
So, yeah, to be honest, during COVID, it wasn't a problem because a lot of houses were selling and everything. I haven't had a house sell in I don't know how long. Or nobody's taking out mortgages and I get $11 per page. So if I don't have a page, I'm not getting any money. And it's fine. I'm absolutely fine with going with that, but I reduced the fees because I know they're gonna be reduced this year or next year. Because this trend is that the housing is just.
At 9%.
Well, somebody told me today that it's gone down to 6.75. In
I hate to say it's gonna stay there for a year.
So this summer or sometime when things quiet down, I think we should start negotiations. Also need to kind of discuss the composition of the clerk's office in terms of personnel, in terms of finance. The finance thing, I think that needs further discussion. Too.
So you're comfortable with kicking this can for a few
Yeah,
months?
yeah. Yeah,
1 year.
yeah, I was fine with it. Linda brought it up to me and I said, I assumed it came about because I reduced the fees. But I don't want you budgeting it and rate, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not there. And we offset it with the 20,000 revenue, but we don't know if we're gonna get it, but I only get paid what we receive.
Yeah, I tend to agree then that, I mean, Belinda's comfortable with it and we are kind of at the wire for our budget discussions. I say that, I agree with you. Let's revisit.
And be prepared for next year to have it happen. All right, let's quickly go down this budget. When we're done, Belinda's gonna give us kind of an idea. Or do you want to give us an idea of where we stand now in terms of?
4 cents,
Huh?
4 cents.
4 cents.
4 cents.
And that's with or without the fund balance?
That's with me putting in 50,000 for the fund balance. Just letting you know that's my estimation. I'm still waiting for these auditors to give me a draft. I have to tell you.
So, to get it down to 3 cents, we need to get rid of $16,000. Is that true?
Yeah, at least. I would say, our last grand list was $163 million. I know we're losing a lot of revenue coming in. We estimate probably about $1 million coming off because of all the properties being sold and the forest and all that. But I understand, we talked to Tom today, that he's thinking that there's probably enough houses out there, especially the one on Brookview Lane. They might bring us up that $1 million. So we would be about the same. So 1 cent raises $16,300. So that's how the estimate is. I think with the budget you have right now, not knowing the fund balance, you are definitely above 4 cents. But if you put the 50 grand in, which would lower it, then you would get down to 3. I have heard, and it's just a rumor, that the school budget is going down. And that if they go down 3 cents, then we would level fund. Both of us. Well, they would go down, we'd go up, but it would level fund. But I haven't seen any preliminaries yet. That's just from one of the school board members.
So with you taking 50 out of the reserve fund, we still need to lower by 16.3.
No, yes, that's what she's saying, yep.
And we still have some unanswered questions.
Like boarding.
Why don't we go through that? I've thought about the boarding under the constable. I have thought about it. And,
I think we can't put a figure in there right now.
yeah, I don't think they're organized enough.
No.
And I don't think that I'm really interested in spending that kind of money. I rather put electricity poles to the transfer station and have it up there for the amount of money they're gonna want, and we come out with something. I mean, just, that's a lot of money just for a dog here and there.
I can also tell you, I have a stray dog over on my road. Dean has already found a home for him in New York. When we catch him,
Mhm.
we're having a heck of a time trying to catch him.
Have we gotten any real presentation from?
No, you're the only one that's ever gone and learned anything and what I've read in the paper. I know that Dean's building some kennels at his home.
But he doesn't think of long-term.
Yeah. I mean, we do have to think of long-term, but this, I'm not sure that's the way I want to go.
Yeah, well, given his placement rating. You know, dog he doesn't even have yet, he's got a home for.
Already,
So can we just put like $100 in the boarding because we told him we would pay him?
Yeah.
I bet you he will never charge us.
he never has. He did get a new unit. He has a thing from Justice for Dogs, gave him, a scanner so he can scan dogs and see if there's any chips or anything. And that was free.
Can we, under elections, can we trim this is a tabulation amount a little bit? No,
I wish.
I didn't know. I don't know
Well,
nothing.
let me say this, so. You know, this November,
Oh, yeah.
when we start the election, we'll be in
Oh, yeah.
this. Budget, so I'm hoping that it'll cover it. Because I've got a primary, I've got a special vote, but is that June or July?
So you got a presidential primary mark, but it's not in this.
No, so in this budget is only the general and the primary. And then the following town meeting. That's it. 3 elections, and I'm hoping that this will cover it. I think it will, and that's why I went with that. I streamlined it.
On the next page, the forest committee,
Yeah,
we do something there.
yeah, I think so.
Linda thinks they have some big.
I
money
think
coming
they're
in.
going to be, so they're going to get some money. Do you know how much? I meant to call Kate.
No. I haven't talked with Kate. Gordon usually talks with her.
Oh,
Would it be excessive to drop it down to 1,200?
I think so.
Too much?
No, I think that's fine. I agree. That's one place I thought I would cut.
Geez, I was thinking about having it. You guys are brutal.
Wow.
To 1,500 is what I was thinking.
Well,
Yeah, but this 3,000 figure also had website development.
no, I made them
Oh,
take that out.
it's
We're
35.
paying that with ARPA. They wanted 3,500.
Okay.
I got rid of that.
So we go with 1,200?
I'm a tight one.
Can we go?
Everybody's money everywhere. So what would the 1,500 is the legal, right? That's what you were thinking, or are they gonna have money for legal? Don't they need legal?
They don't, not this forest committee, that
Okay.
will all come out of the loans.
Okay.
Um. The library did tell me that we could cut some of their appropriation a little bit. I don't know, we're nickel and dime in here, but.
I wouldn't say you could cut more than 500 out of there because it's,
Well, that's what I was thinking, making it an even 12,000.
Yeah, sounds good.
If they can give away $500 bonuses, we can take 5,000.
Yeah.
Can we make the appropriation to the library 1,200?
12,000.
12,000.
Yeah.
Are you keeping track of this?
Yes, I am.
How much we're saving?
Yeah, you went to 1,200 and then you just barely went to 12,000.
Yeah, but what I mean, how much are we saving? We have.
Oh, I haven't been adding that up.
6,500.
She's not sticking with us.
We've got 5,000 in the highway fuel.
We added in.
No, we took 5,000, yeah,
Oh,
No, we took 5 out of that.
but we added 4 back on class 2.
so there's only 1,000.
And don't forget you put 200 in for the lease.
Oh, yeah, but I already put that in my total.
I'm just making sure Mike is aware of that.
Yeah. We went.
I think we should have just quick claimed it and said, there you go, state.
Possession is 9/10, right?
Yeah, but then they couldn't drive back. Or the garage.
Yeah, that would have been a problem.
Just don't put the sand pile so close to the building.
So do you think we should have the portal at it in the winter on the rail trail? Linda says everyone keeps coming in here.
All the time. They don't want to get cold out there. I don't think I'd put my butt on there.
Well, there are weekends.
Oh, there are weekends.
You
Yeah,
don't
Right.
need using the snow if not.
that's very true.
That's true. Well, didn't think of that.
Oh, yeah, with the snow, just stay away from the yellow snow, you're all right.
Yeah, but it's the toilet paper hanging in.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Okay.
talk about the litter committee. Kurt kind of talked to me a little bit about the litter committee and maybe taking some money out of that. I don't know what your thought was on that we didn't have a committee or we didn't.
Oh, I found it.
Kurt?
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been trying to revise the committee. So Michelle she put together a report for the town report. And tried to work with the textile people. So she's becoming a little bit active again. John Wheeler also has been texting me, looking for ordinance enforcement. So it looks like we do have some interest coming back in. I've asked Michelle to put together a meeting, and I'm waiting to hear about that. But I do think that the focus of the committee should be literally the litter committee, which means green up day, which means bulk day, if we can and want to do it, and it means signage. But beyond that, I don't think that, as we discussed before, that we can effectively enforce ordinances.
So what we're doing right now is we're looking to shave the budget to make up $16,300. We just
Right.
wondered if you had any
Yeah, I think we can.
space in your budget to
Yeah,
find a little bit of money. That's
think-
all.
think we do. Dolan, can you put that back up? The budget, I don't have it in front of me. There it is, and litter committee. Yeah, I think that we can actually take, 500, 550 out of Green Up Day and Bulk Day. Signage, we can use the same signs this year. So we can eliminate that 300 altogether. Disposal always gonna happen. Postage, we really don't need. So that's 500,000, 1,050 we can take out of there.
You guys could go without a salary. I'm just kidding. That was bad.
That was bad.
How about town administrator?
No.
Okay.
Probably should have asked the question when Dylan was here, but I'm looking at the winter sand, and maybe Kurt, you can speak to this. Our winter sand budget is 45,000. We've so far spent
right.
63%. And we're looking at a proposed 50. Is 63% this time of year? Is this typical? Could we maybe shrink the winter sand budget for next year?
Yeah. Go ahead, Linda.
We have a contract for another year with gravel. I could talk to Lisa Gravel today. And it is estimated 5,000 at 725. So that's 36. Sometimes they used to get 6,000, but the contract is 5. And we had a lot to begin with.
And,
You're looking at,
and the contract is coming up in June. So we'll have to renegotiate. We'll have to put it out again. It was a 2-year contract.
That's what she told me on the phone.
So is it safe to assume that we could maybe shave 5,000 off the proposed, 10,000 off the proposed?
Oh, winter,
Yeah.
Even though we've got a new negotiation?
that should be winter, isn't it?
I have to say that they're 725 seems like a lot for. What do you know? I mean, I don't know, but 725 a yard is a lot.
Okay.
But what are we looking at?
Talking about taking winter sand, I don't know what page of it, page 3.
Yes,
They're looking for 50,000. They have spent so far 63% of the budget you guys gave them last year.
28,
28.5, yeah. They
28.
spent $28,000.
drop it back by 5,000.
And
10.
so what they should do is use up their budget at the end of June, haul from there, and then we might not need so much in the new.
Okay. I'd be comfortable with 10.
We're going 10, right?
down to 40.
So you're at 13.
Close you can taste it.
You are. I wish I could lower that audit by 1,000, but I have to have a single audit because of the FEMA and the wastewater.
do you need any bookkeeping services?
Let's take that out.
500.
I only put it in there in case, he dies on me, so he's not, that sounds terrible. She just rolled the car to me, so I think she's fine. She gave me the. Okay. You get a one.
Where are we?
Bookkeeping under town clerk.
What are we taking out?
500.
500.
That's bookkeeping services?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll even give up my temporary labor.
No, isn't that, no,
But Edie doesn't use all her time.
she's not temporary labor.
No, but she's under assistant town clerk.
Right.
And I can put Deanna under that and it still doesn't come up.
Wonderful. Are we there yet?
No.
14.5 or 14.6, I should say.
That's good. We're there.
I need 16.3.
Oh,
Need another.
we're at what? 15.6?
So we just need to raise appraisals a little. We need to build a beautiful, great big mansion.
Linda, I can lower that interest LOC down to a thousand less if you tell me that the FEMA money will be here in this budget. Damn it.
I have no idea. This FEMA is ridiculous. I don't know if you'll see it for 3 years. You can't even get a meeting.
Okay. I tried.
Looking at town report, I see that the top line is highlighted $500. What's that?
So Linda said that the town report does not cost as much and that one part of that town report money was the stipend that we had taken out. We have a signed agreement for the 2589 for the next 2 years, this year and next year. So that's why we put that down and then we put the
Stipend is for the person who puts it together. It's
Okay.
quite a bit of work.
Mhm.
Deb is
They help.
doing a fabulous job.
I won't take that away from you.
I just wanted to be clear why it was highlighted.
Well, I thought for transparency, it should be separated. I don't know why it's highlighted, but
I highlighted it because that was a change,
yeah.
so you guys could see. Because we went up to about $89, so, no. But now, town building and maintenance fund. I am concerned about this fund. That we said was 15 hours a week at what Bob gets. Is there any way we could do a certain amount of hours monthly? I mean, I'm not saying,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, help me with this. I'm just trying to, I know he has to put out the sign, but I've also heard from Deb that we might want to go a different way with that. Because
Well, if he doesn't want to put out the signs, then there's very little for him to do to even be here. We desperately need him in the winter and he's doing a wonderful job. I mean, I'm really pleased with what he's doing. But then when he's done, he sits in his car for 2 hours because there's nothing to do. I don't know how to address him.
I would like to move it down to 10 under maintenance person. That gives you your amount. It also gives us, how do I say,
But when it means moving forward, we can talk to him and say, the budget is only including $10,000. And so we need to reduce your weekly hours or, monthly hours, however you want to do it. But that's all we have set aside for the year for you.
and sometimes, he takes a couple of days off because he's got appointments with his daughter and stuff. And that's great. Like, he won't be here tomorrow. But he'll be here Friday and he'll take care of the the trash and all that. And he does a very good job when he's here and when he needs to do things.
It's just not enough to do.
Yeah, that's.
But it's a waste of time for him to come all the way from Eden.
For 2 hours.
I've said
Yeah.
that too in other jobs I've gone to. I'm not going there for 2 hours,
Yeah.
So,
And I want to cut down on his mileage a little bit too. I want to tell him I'll pick things up for him and stuff. Because I do that for the janitor and I'm going to the bank once a week anyhow, so. Yeah, Abishant's right down the road, so.
and we don't always need things that same day.
Yes, yes.
So we're looking at,
ten
dropping
thousand for the maintenance for
$688.
Yeah, taking out that,
10,000, straight 10,000.
straight 10 for the repair and maintenance and 10 for the person.
And this has got nothing to do with the position, but there was reserve funds somewhere in there, yes?
There was,
For
Building.
building maintenance.
yes, for building, but
Yes.
we also have to, I don't know how much the insurance is gonna pick up. And we've got a category called flood. It's got everything in it. And I just don't know, once we separate it out, what the insurance is gonna pay and what they're not, and what the town's gonna have to pick up. That might have to come out of that fund.
You know, like, we're not sure whether the mold thing would be. But if it doesn't get picked up by insurance, it may get picked up by FEMA.
Right.
But FEMA only pays 75%.
And we know the ball field, they're not paying it all. So you got 17,273, and you actually have a little more because if you reduce salaries, then I take out taxes.
On the last page, anticipated revenues, do you have a figure for the end?
I do and I don't.
I'm
So
hoping it'll be 50,000.
right now, you've got 304,000 in anticipated revenues. I'm hoping it's gonna be 50,000 and above, but I can only, based on my conversations with this strange auditor I have, John, that it will be at least 50. But, you know, he's an accountant, so he talks in riddles.
How could he, but I always wonder how we could have leftover money when we had this flood. How does that happen?
Flood act happened in July,
Oh,
so.
oh,
Yeah,
Came into this next year.
yeah.
next year, I don't think we're gonna have any fund balance. Unless I get the money. 'Cause I don't know how much longer I can go without borrowing. But that's a conversation for the next select board meeting.
So I'm gonna ask Belinda to do this up. And figure out the tax rate. And send it to everyone. Encourage them to come by and get a copy.
Working until 5.
And then 5 on Wednesday, next Wednesday. And then,
I'll send it to you. It's okay. So,
you can't have a conversation on email, but you can send directly to me that you're comfortable with signing this budget. And, then, you'll have to come in and sign it.
So this will get you down to 3% increase.
I think that's acceptable with the
I do
cost.
too, especially since I'm supposed to find out.
That was my goal, nothing over that.
I have to have the town report at the publishers on Wednesday, January 24th.
Oh dear.
So there's no time to
Have another meeting.
sign, yeah. So I will drive it there because I can't trust overnighting it.
So I will send this to you tomorrow with all the changes and everything. I will get John to give me a figure on paper.
So, yeah, so I would need to know Friday morning.
Yeah.
That you approve and then, it can be left here and you can come in and sign it. There's a lockbox. We'll send you the code if you don't have a key.
Okay.
Well, there's a lockbox outside. I'll send you the code.
Okay.
And you
I'll
can,
take off, or you're not on
Fine.
Friday.
Now, Friday,
I'm open Friday.
I'll come in Friday.
Friday, I don't know if they're gonna keep me overnight. But I'm scheduled Friday morning to have her Diane Twain laid to rest.
already?
I love that you named your hernia.
Well, my wife cooperated on it. She came up with her Diane, I said Twain.
Gonna get you. That's what she thinks.
Usually when we travel to Burlington, she starts cataloging my faults, which are legion. This time she was in a better mood. They got a good news on the annual checkup, so.
All right, how do we want to work this so Richard can sign off?
So Richard, you can come by tomorrow if you want.
I can do that,
Okay,
yes.
I'm here. Not at 8 o'clock. I have to drop the dogs off first.
Now, I'll
He's
be,
gonna be here at 8.
Only if this really comes out, including what's in the warning,
Yes,
3%.
yes.
So that's, let's move on to the warning. This is just a quick thing. It was brought up to me that, someone wanted to put the sheriffs in the warning and not in the budget. It's still money, 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 no matter where it is. I'm happy to take a vote on that. I've seen it over the years forever, and probably a number of you have, you know, that it's been in the budget. Then it was an article for a number of years. Then we had COVID, everyone got a ballot, everyone could vote. It passed overwhelmingly. And so we put it back in the budget because we had no backup plan. So taking it out again is just, I find we're zigzagging. I don't like how much the sheriff's budget is. I don't know what to do with it. Kurt and I, we had a law enforcement committee. We had a lot of people meeting. We met with Hardwick to try to go someplace else. We looked into having our own police. What it boils down is people want police. They don't like the price tag, but they're willing to pay for it. I don't know.
I remember,
That's my spiel.
I remember in 2019, it was individually. They passed it through immediately. There was no real stuff from the floor. So, I mean, since then, I don't think we've had any deterrent about it. I mean, it hasn't been a big thing, and the sheriff's department always shows up. But this last few times, they haven't really said anything.
They're going up 3%. We're going up 3%. I don't know. That's a lot of money. Something's gonna have to give soon. I don't think anyone has the answer for that. Maybe when Roger retires in a few years, things will all tumble or something.
Fall apart.
Yeah. You know. I don't have a solution.
Sounds like maybe a next year thing when it comes around.
I haven't really heard any opposition, enough opposition for me to personally want to take it out of the budget.
Yeah, I think only one person expressed something, and that was it.
Well, no, there's a few people that are.
There's a few.
Yeah.
One.
I've gotten phone calls and they weren't, you know. But I don't know.
a majority rule.
Majority rules, right, exactly what I was gonna say.
Consensus right now is just a few people that may change in the future, but.
What's your pleasure? I'll entertain either one, I guess.
Let's leave it as is.
Yeah.
Sounds like,
Yeah.
sounds like leave it as is.
Okay, so this is a basic warning. Want to fill it out, make sure those terms are right, and that people can
Yes.
sign this.
Yeah,
too.
Renee's is the only one we don't know. I'll look that up.
Plug in the figures.
Mm-hmm.
I can come and help you tomorrow too. All right,
Look so happy.
she doesn't.
He does.
Oh,
She bugs me.
I brought dogs and biscuits to.
Why don't we have the project manager's report?
Okay, so we're meeting with FEMA on Friday. Our Destiny has been out of the country for a while, and so this is the first meeting we're gonna have in some time. On our agenda is, as Linda mentioned earlier, is the status of the rec field claim. So VLCT, by contract does not cover it. So we've put it into FEMA. And as I mentioned last time, one of the questions that we have is that open claims closed some time ago. And the question is now, can we put in things like the rec field? Because we did not know when and where we were going to be, denied. And the same case with underserved claims. So we've now gotten as soon as we get the settlement letter back from VLCT, we'd like to move that over to FEMA. And it looks like, well, one of the questions we had was the status of the town hall claim, because that was, as it is a designated flooded zone, that was separate. And it sounds like they did pay on it. What did you say, Linda? Was it 40,000 or?
41,000. Well, I think it says, town hall flood zone AE, expense 1,000. Then it says PD 40,000 and totals 41,000.
Yeah, okay.
So that's not what that's the amount they would top. That's the top amount that they would give us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I
So,
think you need to call her.
yeah, I put in a call to Terry today. And yeah, that's an unknown at this point. I think it'll really come out when the settlement letter is finally put together. We're also looking at mitigation claims. So there is a mitigation group from FEMA that's working on Jones Road, also Town Hill Road. And we also got an extension on the debris claim. Debris was due to be finished by January, I forget, 17th, I think. And the state of Vermont put in a request to extend that, which was granted. And so now it's July 15th. I did call Destiny on this because it was a little confusing. And what it means is that you have to finish your debris removal by July 15th. It does not mean that reporting has to be done. The good news is we've already finished our debris removal, and I'm presenting the reporting to Destiny on Friday. Also working with Federal Highway. That has an April deadline, but we're really complete with our submission. I've talked to Ross several times. I was confused about who had done the work prior to Pike coming in there, and it was Minash. So that I have the Minash invoices, and so we're ready to close on that. The process is not a quick process. It goes from Ross to a review group. And then it goes to another group for payment. But Ross is a really good guy. He seems to really be on top of things and keeps us informed as to how the money is rolling out. And I did have a question. Terry from VLCT was questioning the town hall and whether the heater was put in as in kind. And of course, it's a whole different system. And I thought she would probably have some more questions about that. So this report that you got, Linda, confuses me a little bit because it seems like it's ahead of the settlement letter. But we got to call Linda Terry and hopefully we'll get that resolved. And that's all I have.
Why would you think that though? Because it's a public building. We can't, it couldn't be in kind. That's strange. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just,
Yeah,
you know, it has to be put in by a certified plumber.
right. Right. I mean, we switched from oil to propane. And her question is, that's not in kind. And so,
Oh, the same thing.
Yeah.
Same type of fuel.
yeah.
But I mean, saving grace, it's not as though we went from hot air to hot water, we do still have a hot air system. So that buys us.
We
Yeah.
used the same ducts and everything that were in place. We just changed the fuel source because of climate change.
Yeah, yeah. But it's just like FEMA, you know, in kind is in kind, and then it becomes mitigation.
Well, I think if you went back to them and said, instead of having the fuel tank, which would be a hazard in the basement again, now it's above out of
Yeah.
the floodplain.
Yeah, I mean, there's
So-
total logic in this.
So I would put that to them saying, look, we got rid of a hazard. Now it's above the floodplain,
Right,
still a hot air system, just a different fuel, which is better.
yep, yep, yep. I absolutely agree.
No, that's interesting because the auditors said that that new furnace would be an asset. Whereas what we did at the town garage, we just put back what was there, was not a town asset. It was just replacing. Town hall was a major change.
Because you're upgrading on your percent of
Correct.
less fuel use.
I just found it interesting that one was and one wasn't. Or you just had that.
Is there one thing I could bring up now? I forgot about it.
Right, well, I'm not sure if Kurt's done.
Yep, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay.
Not sure.
The generator, because of its age, to repair or whatever, it's going to be so high. Can we use some of the ARPA funds and replace it with a newer?
Give me a quote.
I was hoping he would do it.
Oh,
I'll get you a quote.
all right.
I'm working 9 hours a day as it is.
I need a secretary.
On budget.
I know.
Oh, just pay me as the mayor and I'll do it.
Yeah,
Well, that's right. We got a mayor.
You gotta beat him in the election.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Good luck.
so you can just put that on a future agenda, maybe, you know, in a couple weeks.
I just think it's getting to where it's 20, 25 years.
It is having problems and it's having.
It's gonna get worse.
And you gotta, what was it, end of this year, you figure out all the ARPA. Where it's going
It's
anyways.
better to use it now than lose it.
Oh, God, yeah.
You will not lose it, I guarantee that. I've got lots of little.
One more update too that I probably should have mentioned
Yeah.
earlier. I met with the people from Lloyd's Heating about the air exchange at the town garage. They didn't have anything substantial to present tonight, but they are working on a system and they are hopeful that there is a suitable location. He asked me profusely not to quote him on this price, but he did offer that they had done a similar system, slightly smaller, in a residential setting that ran around 15,000. But being that this building is so much larger, there's trade-offs. It's a commercial, it's an industrial building, so we don't have to deal with prettying up the ductwork.
Right.
but also it's so much larger. So I told him I would pass that info along to you guys.
Even at 30,000, that's pretty cheap.
Really?
Yeah.
Be interesting,
Open the door then.
it'd be interesting to see what they come up with.
They have the door open enough as it is, right?
Be interesting to see what they come up with and, you know.
That's another interesting fact. How come there's no smoke detectors in CO2?
I don't know.
In that building?
Yeah, none, nada,
Really?
The fire.
really.
Well,
No,
I'm saying the fire department's better.
you don't.
Really?
No.
Get Bob on that one too.
Oh, I had no idea. We have fire extinguishers over there.
I guess I hadn't noticed. I hadn't even looked around.
Well, there's none, nada. And
CO2 wouldn't work because they got so much equipment running in there anyway. I mean, I'm not sure what the codes and anything is, but being a public building, but unless they're gonna push the trucks outside, that'll be a constant alarm.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about, so this mold guy was the one who recommended an air exchange? Kurt?
No, I don't think he did. I thought
Who did?
that was something Michael had suggested.
Yeah, it was something that, yeah, talking out loud, when I was talking with the guys and I was going through and trying to figure out what we were gonna do about that lower piece. I had mentioned that air filtration
Mhm.
might improve because the slab is always so damp. I have noticed that since we had that conversation, they've had those fans on a lot more frequently. The overhead fans are always on when I'm in there now. Whereas previously I had never noticed them on. But moving air is good for the humidity levels.
Really don't like that furnace when it turns off.
Yeah. When does it turn off?
Jesus, it's scary. Boom! I was like, what was that?
You know, and that's another thing too, when we moved away from the heated slab. You know, now we have a lot more moisture in the building. As the trucks drip onto the concrete and that water dissipates.
If they do it, if they design it right, they can do one of those heat exchange units, so it just takes the heat from the inside air, puts it in the air it's bringing in, so it shouldn't be just drawing out all the air.
Yeah, and it's just simple, the way he explained it
It's
to me,
going
it's
rid of the moisture.
it's as simple as changing furnace filters. And it does improve indoor air quality. So curious to see what they come up with.
Now that's right, they don't have drains.
Yes, they do. They have some drains, don't they? They have to be pumped out. It has to be
Yes.
pumped out,
It's-
yes.
It's a well, but
Yeah.
before they used to go into the river, the state was not very happy.
But they do have something.
They have a
Seal the floor drains, they have a tank.
Yeah, that has to be pumped out periodically.
Now, is there a way they could squedgy the water?
I think that the concrete is in such sad shape from the,
It doesn't matter, it goes,
I think between the salt.
Right now, it's covered with wet sand from the trucks where it falls out.
Yeah,
When-
falls out. And when they.
It's still sitting there. I'm gonna go grab it from my driveway. It's not frozen.
well, that was the only thing that they used to do in the fire department. I don't know if they still do it, was every vehicle got washed. The moment it came back,
Yeah,
all the crap was taken out and thrown.
My understanding is that they do the same thing here. They come in from their route, they hose them off outside and they bring them in and let them drip before they freeze up. But I mean, again, should have asked while Dylan was here.
okay, I just have a few updates and then we can go. We've done great work tonight, I think. I wanted to update you that, the town did receive an additional $640,000 for the, wastewater grant. We were looking for 800, but we got 640. We're not complaining. to go, from the Community Recovery and Revitalization Fund. Also, Megan, I was talking to Megan at Lamoille County Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission was awarded, money from the Lamoille Clean Water Service Provider for, preliminary design for the Gulf Road Bridge and from Amy Hayter's down along, just kind of like what we're doing with the recreation field. So, the planning commission is awarding the money and they'll put out an RFP and get some design, but sometimes moving forward. So we had a discussion about moving forward with some of these grants, there's matches, and we need to think about putting away some money to be able to do these matches, like the one for Flatiron and stuff that just come up. And the trouble is, they don't always fall in our fiscal year. So somehow we need to kind of have some of that money put away. I don't know if the money we put away in the capital fund would qualify or not. It might, but just to keep that on your radar. And I also was talking to them, so we should receive the phase 2 report for the parking lot in mid-February. Do you know anything about that, Michael?
No.
So Kurt was in, conversation with Champlain Oil about, the town owns half of the parking lot in downtown. The other half Champlain Oil owns. They want to sell it. We've done a phase 1 and now we want a phase 2. Brownfield study done. We've gotten, those studies paid for free through the Brownsfield Committee of the Planning Commission. And so we're waiting to hear what the results of that would be, to determine, whether we go into negotiations with them or not. And then it would need to, go to a town vote, to acquire. I was just following up because I was hoping it would happen, but it's not gonna happen in time, so. Who knows, if we decide to go forward, maybe we'll do that in June. If it's positive, it might, if it's not, then we'll probably drop it. I think that's all I have.
What was it's valued at what, 16,000, Belinda? That property that the oil company owns over by the,
Oh, no, they wanted 40, didn't they?
no, I mean,
They wanted 40, but our values are, the other thing is we did get the letter, which we won't tonight, but we've fallen below. So we're like at what, 85, what are we at, 84% of value? That value is about 84% of what it should be.
The CLA, yeah.
still the price they wanted was,
Well, we didn't say we should go 40,000.
I wouldn't.
We said we wanted to see, is there, major contaminants on it? If there are, what kind are they? We did a brownfield study for this trailhead, and there's some stuff there, but by just capping it and not disturbing it, that's enough. But it depends on what that is over there.
I think you'd find the same problem with the state property if you went over there and
Yeah,
That piece of property we're talking, if they could ever do anything with it.
no, it's the narrow strip.
Yeah,
well, the zoning in the villages is down to like
Half a acre or less.
That'd be so they put a mobile home on it.
The trouble is, they need a wastewater connection to even try, so
Sure.
they couldn't do anything, and they already put you.
But
And where they have a well too.
Yeah, I don't know where they get any water.
I'd have to look through the zoning docs and I should know because I'm on the board, but. I don't think, we could do a I don't think we could back a single wide in there in the downtown. I think there's restrictions on that.
This is the interesting thing I've seen, and they're doing it out of Littleton. They call them small homes.
Yeah, we have some.
I am talking 8 foot by 20.
We have some in town.
Yeah.
I'm going, my God.
That's what the younger people want.
The tiny.
Meeting, and then I'm gonna adjourn the meeting, because then we can talk at 8:01. Yeah, so we adjourn.
Yeah, try to work out.